days, 1,000 people, 100,000 pounds of explosives, and just one aim.
It's great just to be sitting there at night and you watch something, just fierce ass, go up in the air and just.
You know, I wouldn't say it's better than sex, but it's really, really close.
This is about as extreme as you can get. People claim that skydiving is an extreme hobby. It's probably right there with it.
It's hard to describe. It's just it just rocks you to your soul. Just rocks you right down to your soul.
To be around all this smoke and flame and fire and smell that sulfur, and that's just fantastic.
Every year, a group of self-confessed pyromaniacs gets together in the southwestern desert to set off thousands of pounds of explosives, rockets, gasoline, and fireworks. They call it Winterblast. It's part pyro spectacular, part explosives fest, and part special effects show. Think 4th of July meets Mad Max. It's extreme, it's heavy duty, it's 4 days and nights of flames, smoke, and noise.
Why do I do it? I love it because I like to blow shit up.
Now in its 10th year, nearly 1,000 people are expected to take part. They come from all over America and are a mix of professional pyrotechnicians and special effects experts, as well as people who simply enjoy this as a hobby.
Oh, I love it. That primal rush when you feel the fire and you just feel that flame just hitting you and just feeling the heat. And that's part of it, just feeling that heat and feeling that thump in the chest whenever something goes off.
I would say that you're going to be looking over the next 4 days at somewhere around 15,000 to 20,000 pounds of pyrotechnic product going up.
That's a big bang.
It would be if it all happened at once.
I think everyone has the pyro in them. It's just that they don't have a chance to do it. And here, you get a chance to do it. You get a chance to shoot off everything that you would ever dream of. Yeah, I could say I'm a pyromaniac.
Oh, it will definitely sound like a war zone out here when we've got the whole place rocking and rolling. It's quite an experience, quite an experience. The smoke in the air, the ground is shaking. Need to smell some smoke, fellas. We need to smell some smoke.
The check for the event, and this many booms don't come cheap, is picked up by the organizers, the Western Pyrotechnic Association. Its president and the man in charge of all this madness is Keith the Reef Adler.
We've got members of the arson squad, we've got fire marshals, we've got policemen, we've got assembly line workers, blue-collar workers, we've got white-collar workers, we've got professors in universities, we've got the whole gamut. They just have a love of pyro. There's a flame burning inside all of our hearts.
The lowest IQ is probably around 155. They're all rocket scientists, nuclear physicists. It's their avenue for relaxation.
Well, I'm a chemist. I work at a major oil refinery on the West Coast, and surprisingly, I use a lot of these same chemicals at the refinery.
There's an adrenaline rush involved in what we do that just I mean, money can't buy. If you lined up all the drug users out there and let them shoot pyro after they were safely trained, they would never go back to using drugs.
We refer to each other as pyromaniacs. I've coined the moniker of Dr. Pyrophile to express my love for fireworks rather than my maniacal nature. Sulfur snorting psychopath has been used.
The amount of explosive material discharged means that for safety reasons, the event has to be held in remote areas. In past years, it's been held on lake beds outside Las Vegas in Nevada. But in recent years, the location has been the Arizona desert outside Lake Havasu City, about 200 miles west of Phoenix.
Well, this location is incredible. I mean, the mountains are awesome. At night, it is dark, and I mean dark. So when you want to see some dark sky to paint the night with, here it is.
The Southwest desert it's so expansive, it defies words. And just to look out here and see the mountains and the expanse. Some people get bored by the desert. I find it exciting because it touches me.
There's nothing around, no overhead wires, mountains to hear the echoes off of the night, and you'll hear a lot of echoing from that mountain over to my left there tonight when this stuff starts going off.
It's very arid. In fact, it's very dry. And one might think that a random spark might set a fire off around here, but as you can see, most of the vegetation is pretty sparse and spread out, so it doesn't really create the hazard most people think.
Winterblast is one of the largest discharges of non-military explosives and pyrotechnics in the world. Over a 4-day period, nearly 100,000 pounds of explosive material will be set off. It takes 2 days to load any equipment, dig the firing trenches, lay the charges, and wire it all up. The atmosphere is a heady mix of testosterone, sulfur, and fuel. The pyros taking part freely admit that the area will soon resemble a war zone.
Oh, I loved it. I'm a boomer. I told you I was a boomer. Whoa! Was that a big enough boom for you? The boomers is how loud can you get it in the smallest package. So sometimes the challenge, okay, I can make a 3-inch salute sound like a 6-inch. No, you can't. Well, watch me.
To kick off this year's event with a big bang, former U.S. infantry officer Tim O'Neill strides out into the desert to rig up a huge gasoline bomb.
What we've got here is what's called in the business we call it an A-bomb. Because what it should do is it should go up in a nice pillar 200 feet. When it reaches the top, it loses its velocity of the fuel. Then it starts falling back down, it vaporizes, and that's what forms the cloud. Well, you know how they say it in that movie, you know, there's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning? Well, we don't have napalm out here, but this is about the next best thing.
The device is rigged to work like a cannon. 5 pounds of gunpowder, or black powder as it's known, is poured into a small plastic bag and wired up. Another larger bag of gasoline is then laid on top. When ignited, the black powder explodes inside the tube, shooting the gasoline out in a huge fireball. That's the plan, anyway.
The best way to describe it would be huge.
Being able to take that charge and lift it 200, 300, 400 feet in the air, and then being back a quarter of a mile and you still feel the concussion in your chest when it goes off is pretty impressive.
Okay, 10-4.
It should be big enough you'll feel it through the ground.
I didn't get his camera on first. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
Classic.
Thank you. Mushroom.
Here's the bag of goodies.
You like that? Oh, that was so great. That was beautiful. How are you going to outdo it next time? And we always find a way to outdo it.
When you're in the desert, let's blow some stuff up.
This is about as extreme as you can get. People claim that skydiving is an extreme hobby. It's probably right there with it.
Although it's mostly a guy thing, there are some pyro chicks as well.
Men react very differently. They want to know how far you can swallow it and exactly what you do. And, you know, women are usually just amazed that you would take on something so bizarre.
It's just fun, you know, to get to be somewhere where you can actually blow shit up. Yeah. And you get to meet a lot of neat people and see a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, like, they have anvils, and they put one down, and they have a hole in it, and then they put the other one on top, and they fill the hole up with black powder, and they go, fire in the hole, right? And they shoot it up. And it makes the most mind-boggling noise, and it shoots the anvil up. Sometimes we do it at home, and it lands in the ground, and it goes under like a foot into the ground.
Dang near better than sex. Better than sex. 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 You're better than sex. Sex.
There are days I'd rather have pyro than sex.
I kind of find that loud bangs seem to be very popular. Mm-hmm. That's who has a big bang is good.
Fireworks are probably my favorite thing to do outside of the bedroom.
If you were having sex and have fireworks going on over the top, I mean, that would be the end of the world to me.
All the colors and all the booms, they work together.
It's not as good as sex.
I like that one.
People watching it on TV can't feel this concussion off the explosions, but I think that's a lot of the fun of it, is the feeling you get out of it.